Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be reading the webtoon, not just any webtoon. We are going to be reading Eggnoid. And I talked about this webtoon on my last webtoon video, so if you haven't watched it, you should go ahead and watch it. This webtoon is it's old, as I can say. It's pretty old. When I first read it, I don't really remember any of the plot. I just remember him coming in an egg and just like the relationship was kind of weird. So I decided to give it another reread. Somebody told me to read it again, to give it another chance. So I gave it another chance, and I read up to chapter 13, I believe. And there's like almost 300 chapters. No. I couldn't even get I had to force myself to get over even 5 chapters. Like, I don't really remember it being this bad. Let's start with our story, guys. So our story starts with a main character named Ran, as she has heard some rumors about this guy named Ulfie and Grace dating. And you guys might be asking yourself, who's Ulfie and Grace? Ulfie, he is Rand's only friend, childhood friend since they were like babies, and he is like her only friend. So she runs towards them to confront them to see if it is true they're actually dating. And she tells him like, oh, how come you two are dating when you were like spending all this time with me? You will always take me to school, we're always hanging out together, we're always home together, we always do this and that. Like, all of that basically mean nothing to you. And Ulfie was just like, girl, what is you talking about? Like,
Huh? Huh? Huh?
as Ulfie says that it didn't really mean anything, that he was just being a good friend and a good neighbor. She's like, oh, okay. And the story already starts with her embarrassing herself. Like, I don't understand how she just goes to confront her friend about dating somebody when I guess both of them were never like dating. So then the story continues and she congratulates them for their relationship. She's like, oh my gosh, I hope you guys date for a long time. And then the next scene is her in her house. She is talking to her mom and dad, but the thing is, her mom and dad are not alive. They are dead. So she's talking to them, just thinking about them in heaven, and she's just telling them how hard it is to have a crush. So then she's just reminiscing about how her and Ulfie had a really good relationship since they were small, and she's like really hurt. So she says to herself, if only there were someone who could cure this loneliness. And as she closes her eyes and she opens them, boom, an egg appears. And she's like, what an egg? And as she stands up and she goes to see what's going on, the egg opens up and we can see a man. We see a man. And she's like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. What's going on here? And automatically, the minute the man wakes up, he runs towards her. He's like, Mom. Oh no. Literally, the universe, instead of like giving her like a pet or like a little like elf or something that can help her make friends, they just send like a baby man to go make her life worse. Like, girl, she already has no friends, she already has no parents, she has nobody, and the universe was just like, oh, here, we will give you something you need, a man. Not just any type of man, a man that acts like a child. Like, oh my. So she automatically, she's like, I must be imagining things. She goes to sleep, and she wakes up with him on her bed, and she starts to like freak out, as any normal human being would do. So then she starts thinking, should I call the police or what should I do, because this is not normal. An egg just appeared in my room. And then the egg starts telling her, he is the answer to your loneliness. And she's like, huh? The egg says, Eggnoid is exactly like a regular human baby. We believe that with your love, Eggnoid would grow to make the world a better place. And she's like, an adoptive parent? Like, she's like, I don't have time for this. I'm just a high schooler. Like, please take him back. But the egg doesn't respond to her. So she starts thinking of ways to keep him. And as she looks out the window, she sees Ulfie and Grace together. And she's like, she feels upset again to see them together. So as she sees them, she starts to cry, but then she's like, wait, I have more important matters to attend. So she gives Eggnoid dad's clothes because she's like, okay, he needs clothes to wear because he basically came out of this egg naked. And then she's like, oh wow, you're such a smart boy, you dressed yourself. And then he's still like, mom, mommy. And I'm just like, oh my god, oh my gosh, what kind of webtoon am I reading? So then she's like, what should I call you? She decides to name him Eggy. Out of all the names in the universe, she decides to name Eggy, and that name sticks with him for the rest of the story. Like, how? So then they decide to go out, and as they're hanging out again, like around this festival, I don't know what it was again, like the store or something like that, Eggy ends up getting lost. And she's looking for him, and as she's looking for him, she runs into them, and they're like, oh my gosh, Ran, I didn't expect to see you here. Are you hanging out around here? And then she's like, yeah. And Ophi's giving her this nasty glare. Like, I was like, what is wrong with this man? Weren't they like childhood friends? Why is he like looking at her like that? Then she confronts Ophi in front of Grace. She's like, you didn't even tell me you guys were dating or anything. You didn't even text me or anything like this. Basically came out of nowhere. Mind you guys, they were like best friends, like best of friends. So like him dating her was just like really out of nowhere. So then she asked him like, is it because you don't want to be friends with me anymore? And he's like, what if it is? First, when I was reading this, I was like, dang, he's being so mean. Like, I really wonder, like, I get it, you got yourself a girlfriend, but I think like you deserve to explain it to her. Like, act like a normal human being and like and explain why you're cutting her off. Like, and then as that happens, that confrontation happens, she starts to cry, like in the middle of the crowd. She starts to cry, and that's where Eggy notices her, and he's like, mom. He's like, mom. This is where we see Ophi and Grace's relationship. So then Grace tells Ophi, hey, I need to talk to you. Like, what you did to Rand, like, you have crossed the line. And then she says, weren't you doing that to make Rand jealous and get under her skin? So when I read this, I was like, wait, back up. Did he just do this to, like, get her attention? Like, to make her jealous and for her to ask him out? Or what's going on here? Like, I was like, does he have feelings for her? But he just keeps going on with it. Like, there's something wrong with you in the head, Ophi. So then Grace and him start arguing. And then she's like, if you really cared about her, you wouldn't have made her sad. And he replies with, she won't understand. I don't understand him. Anyways, so then as the story continues, she explains to us about how Ophi and her are the only children, and they were raised together, and they have been neighbors. And when her parents passed away, he has always been by her side. So now as the present, she's crying. She sees somebody come towards her, and she's like, it's you, Aggie. And then he's like, mom. Aggie sees that she is obsessed, so he starts like calling her. It's so weird to say this, guys. So guys, this is where I stopped editing because my brain was literally frying and I couldn't anymore, but I'm gonna just summarize it for you guys. I stopped at chapter 13. So basically, like, Aggie keeps calling her mom and she just explodes because he's just like, mom, and he's like annoying her. But then she apologizes and they like hug it out. And then we find out that the reason why Ophi cut her off was because she was like too possessive over him, quote unquote, and he noticed that he was her only friend and he wanted her to make more friends, not just him. Like, he noticed that she was just isolating herself after her parents' death, so he just decided to cut her off all at once, and that's where I left off. This is really confusing. Like, okay, let's put aside the whole egg conversation, but at first I thought he was doing it because he wanted to make her jealous, but then they bring out this whole other thing that he was trying to do it because he wanted to be like, he wanted to put space between them. So I'm really confused on which one has to be. And I know most webtoons, they like to have triangles. I'm pretty sure Ulfi has feelings for her. Like, he's just gonna realize those feelings when he sees her with Aggie, because I think I remember like she starts to take Aggie to school or something like that. Like, my memory is really vague, but this is where I stopped it, guys. Like, at chapter 13, I just couldn't keep reading it because I was just very confused about the whole plot. It's pretty obvious that the romance is not between her and Ulfi. The romance is between her and Aggie, which is like more scary. I don't know, guys. Like, the story could have been much better if like she got like a little elf or something like in her right shoulder. You know, when there's like that little like creature that's always telling you to do this and that, and like that person the little creature would like help her around to make friends and to open up more and get over her trauma and to be a better person. And she gets friends, she gets like a new romance that isn't Ophi, because clearly that's very toxic and it isn't gonna work out. It's not gonna work out again. Like, I just feel like it's better for them to not be friends again, and that plot would have been so much better than this. Well, anyways guys, that's where I'm gonna end it. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna continue reading it. So if you guys ever finished Eggnoid, can you please comment or tell me like where does Eggy come from? And it was okay, it was fun reading it, because I was just like, I'm glad I'm normal. Like, I'm glad I don't find this like fun, and I'm surprised they haven't gotten her help for what she's going through. And I just feel like she shouldn't be living alone. That's just crazy that they just left her alone, and they just told her neighbors to take care of her. Like, what's going on here? Anyways guys, that's where I'm gonna end the videos, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.